If you follow the rules, this would be a flower that you would take off. I do not follow those rules. This is a sharing channel, not a teaching channel. But the truth is, I didn't stock them all the same. Y'all tell me that ain't pretty. There is a sea of flowers in here. There's another one back here, not doing great. Hello, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia, and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. But today, we're gonna finish our garden tour. Last week, we started the garden tour. We went through the main garden, and then we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the Greenstalks, take a look at the greenhouses, and we are going to finish the garden tour for this week, which started last week, but it is what it is. If you're new here, my name is Asia. I garden in Virginia, Zone 7B. I grow in-ground and no-dig, raised beds, bags, pots, Greenstalks, greenhouses, and that's it. I always try to go through it, but I always normally forget something. So let's get started, y'all. I am trying to beat the rain today because it's been saying it's gonna rain since 8 something. It's 11 something. And so I was like, let me just get out here and start this garden tour. So we're gonna start with the Greenstalks, y'all. They're looking good, but they're also kind of looking bare because we're also starting to have to change from fall over into summer. So we have a mix going on right here. I also just harvested all of the herbs back here. Did not do it on camera. I did not do it on camera because, like I said, I was trying to beat the rain and it still hasn't rained. So I will put a picture or a few pictures in the community section, and then you can see them over there, because that's also where I've been posting my harvest, posting how I'm using my harvest if I don't do it on camera. And I don't think we've harvested much on camera, but we're gonna get better with that. Either way, if you want to see what I've harvested, you can go to the community or post, I'm not really sure what it's called, section, and you can see it. Anyway, let's get started on this garden tour. So in case you're new here and this is the first time you have ever seen a garden tour from me, you're only seeing half of my yard today. This is what I call the main garden. This is where the garden started. I am in an urban setting, but pretty much my whole backyard is a garden, and I absolutely love it. But why are we in here? Since we're doing a Greenstalk tour, it's because I have a Greenstalk in here. This is the first Greenstalk that I ever purchased. Also, if you're interested in Greenstalks, like we are going through this and you're like, I really would like to try one of these, I have a link down in my description to Greenstalk. You can get $10 off a $75+ purchase if you are interested. I figured I'd throw that in there this morning because we're going to be looking mostly at Greenstalks. So if you've never heard of Greenstalk, it is a vertical planter. You are basically growing in 2 square feet of space, and they have 2 different types of planters. This is the 5-tier original, so you have really deep pockets in this one, and there are 5 tiers to it, 6 pockets total, and so you can grow 30 plants in here. Anywho, I want to show you what I have in this one. We have peppers that are flowering. I believe this is a shishito pepper. I find that they work well in here. I'm pretty sure I grew them last year in here. Also, full transparency, this is only my 2nd year. I'm in my 2nd year of growing. I started growing in these last year. I am an affiliate of them as well, but I also purchased them. And this was the first one I ever purchased. Before I became an affiliate or anything, I spontaneously one night said, like, I want one. I'm buying it. I had wanted one for 5 years, and I bought it, and I'm super happy that I bought it because I absolutely love them. Right now, I want to say I have 16 of them. Gave one to my mom. I did have 17, but I have 16 right now. Just like some information for you. You pretty much can grow just about anything in here. These are nasturtiums, and this is in one pocket. Look at that plant. That plant is huge in one pocket. I personally eat nasturtium leaves. I also eat the flowers. Now, I have a lot of nasturtiums in here because I also like the way that they look. I would never be able to eat this many nasturtiums or the plant, but this whole plant essentially is edible. So you can eat the leaves. I'm pretty sure the stems are edible. The flowers are edible. When it makes seeds, the seeds are edible. It's a peppery flavor. I don't eat a lot because they are peppery, but I do eat them. I do like them. Let's see what else is in here. Right here, you have an eggplant. Do y'all remember what this eggplant looked like when I put it in? This is one that I actually started from seed and it was struggling. It's a long purple eggplant. So we also have an eggplant in here and that plant is looking amazing, y'all. So I'm pretty excited, pretty sure we're gonna get eggplant from it. It looked terrible when we put it in though. If you was here, you know it looked really bad. We have marigolds. These are miniature marigolds, so they're looking good, starting to flower. We love that. Today is May the 25th. This is what it's looking like. I mentioned to y'all that my basil just was not looking great, and we have basil going all the way down this, and it just doesn't look great. I have been harvesting it. Once it gets warm, I'm hopeful that that is when the basil start to do better, but right now I am making sure that I pluck off anything that looks like it's about to flower to keep the plant from flowering so that I can hopefully get some good growth once it warms up. We have another pepper over here. This is our Jimmy Nardello. It looked a bit crazy when I put it in too. So we're just leaving everything. It does have a flower on it. If you follow the rules, this would be a flower that you would take off. I do not follow those rules, so I won't be taking it off. We have a shishito down here. Now, let me tell you, this shishito pepper broke at some point. Is that this one? No, it's not. Anyway, I'm going to show you the one I'm talking about though. But this is another shishito pepper. People have said, you know, that you shouldn't grow peppers in here too. I've seen it in my comments, but I've never had an issue growing peppers. Look at that. We have peppers growing in a bunch of places where flowers are coming in. So I don't know why people say that. I have not had an issue growing peppers in here. So with that being the case, we got a shishito pepper, got us another terrible looking basil in there, y'all. We got a jalapeno up here, another really pretty nasturtium. You got an eggplant right there, and that's actually about to flower soon. Now this one, I'm pretty sure I purchased from the store maybe. I had two. I maybe have purchased this one from the store. That could be the one I started, who knows? Let's look around a little bit more, because what I want to show you, look at all those nasturtiums, is, okay, here we go. This is a shishito pepper that I made a mistake and I broke at some point, right? If you look down there, you see it right there? I broke that. It just started some more branches, started growing more branches. So if you break your pepper, maybe, well, people top peppers, so this makes sense. I don't top peppers though. So this is what it would look like if I did top peppers. I'm okay with that. If it's because I made a mistake and broke it, I'm not gonna go through and just be topping peppers because I don't see the point. Oh look, we already got a nasturtium seed. So they use them as capers. I've never done it. Also, when it dries, if it drops, very easy to self-sow. Also, you can replant it. Anyway, you got another Jimmy Nardello here. Oh, there's the other eggplant that I started right there. But it looks good. So there you have it. This is our lilac greenstalk. This is not a color that's available right now, but I don't think it was discontinued, so it may come back at some point. But that one right there is the first one that got me into the greenstalk craze, and I'm very, very happy for it. One thing that people always ask me about the greenstalks is how often do I water? I don't have a schedule of when I water my greenstalks. I come out here, I stick my finger in the soil. I also turn it. When you turn these greenstalks, I'm not gonna say you, when I turn my greenstalks, I can tell if they need to be watered. And when I stick my finger into a pocket or two or three, because I do look at more than one level. Most of the time, if it was very light to turn, it is time for me to water it. So I don't have a schedule. That's what I do. I just stick my finger in, I turn it, I test it to see if it needs to be watered. Another thing people have been asking me is what do I fertilize with? I am fertilizing with a balanced fertilizer. But if you saw the last garden tour, which I will link either somewhere in this video or down in the description, I told you that I thought I had a bottle, but I don't. But I told you that the fertilizer that I was using, it's not gonna work for my size garden. It's gonna be very expensive. What I was using, in case you only have one or two that you need to do, was the Espoma Organics Grow. It is an all-purpose fertilizer. It is a liquid fertilizer. Works nicely. to me. However, for my size garden, that's just not gonna work, y'all. So that's what I was using. I fertilized in the beginning and depending on what's in them. So in the fall, I fertilized with fish emulsion, and I did that like every week until we got to like the cooler parts of the year, and then I stopped. Then the Espoma Organics Grow said every 2 to 4 weeks. So I kind of did it when I remembered it because I didn't need to do it every week. Although in the beginning I was doing it every week, but the product says every 2 to 4 weeks. It is an organic one. It was pretty balanced. So if that's something you are interested in, if you have asked that question, that's my answer. So, you know, that's my answer, sorry. This is not a teaching channel. I say that all the time. Sometimes I don't even really pay attention all the time to like time frames. I do know that when I was fertilizing, especially with fish emulsion, I was doing that every week. But that's because I do my whole garden every week in the fall when I plant out my brassicas, because we are growing those plants for the leaves. And so for me, that's what I did, not telling nobody else to do it, okay? Just sharing what I did. This is a sharing channel, not a teaching channel. So on to our next Greenstalk, which this is a inventor's bundle. We have the smaller leaf pockets at the top, and there's 3 tiers of those. And then at the bottom, you have your original. So I just recently took all of my celery out of here. That'll be going through the freeze dryer soon, and we'll be preserving it. But at the bottom, we have potatoes. So these potatoes were planted pretty late. I don't know how good this harvest is going to be, but it is worth a try. I planted them a little bit later because I had extra pockets available. They have not flowered yet, I don't believe. And I also don't even remember which variety I put in here. So they haven't flowered yet, but I don't even turn this anymore because pretty much all of the potatoes are on the front end of this. And we have a few, like there's one right here, and then there's one up here, but I think it's still able to get light. And these strawberries are native. I do not like them. I am not honestly taking care of them. They look a mess, but I imagine it is because they're native. So they're doing exactly what they should do. They're growing a bunch of runners. They're being very productive. They're in an area where they should be growing well. I don't like them. They grow very small strawberries. They grow a million different runners. Not a bad thing to have. Like the runners just means you get more plants, right? But the strawberries are this small. They are very small strawberries, and they tasted okay, but they were very small. I don't know what I would do with them. And if I were to keep them, I need to do a full Greenstalk of them, just like the other strawberries that I have. So we'll see. I'm not pulling them out yet. I am going to clean them up. I'm going to pull all these runners out because they make runners. Like their runners are coming 5 and 6 a day. They just make new runners all day long. Like, what in the whole entire world? Anyway, that is the yellow inventor's bundle. It's actually called lemon. I always say yellow because that's the color that you see, but the name is actually lemon. And I honestly think the lemon and the strawberry, which is this one right here, will no longer be available after the 26th, I think. And then I think the lemon and the strawberry is also 10% off right now. Don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna put it on the screen. But yeah, I think they go away on the 26th, and I think they're 10% off right now if you were wanting to get one. Right here, you have a snow 7 tier, and so these are leaf planters. You can see they're a little bit shorter. So is this one over here. This one is also in the basket weave, so you can get it in different textures. So basket weave, original, both 7 tier leaf planters. I have my herbs in here. If you remember, these Greenstalks looked wild. I went ahead and cut back all of the parsley that was flowering. So I'm going to probably let these die in the soil, and I have started more herb seeds. I could go to a store and I could buy some herb starts. I could cut the herbs that I already have and root them in some water. I like starting seeds. I mentioned this before. And so I want to allow my seeds to grow. I want to nurture them, and then I'm going to plant them. I had so much parsley in here last year. And the crazy part is this year, I actually have a way that I want to use parsley. And I have parsley other ways. I want to make some chimichurri. I think that's what it's called. I watch this guy on YouTube, and he does like outdoor cooking in Alaska. Everything he makes, he puts chimichurri on it. It looks so good. So I have more seeds that I'm starting. garden, not parsley. I need to start some parsley, some cilantro. They'll all fill some of these empty pockets. Until then, the things that are growing, we'll just let them grow back. But I went through here this morning and really did a hard cut. So you got thyme on these 2 levels. You got chives up here. You got sage right here, more sage, more thyme. I think this is a mix right here though. Parsley, and then I put all of the oregano at the bottom. There's also a rosemary in here somewhere. I don't know, not nowhere, but it's in here. But we also have some chamomile, which I meant to harvest this morning. I harvested all of my chamomile out in the garden this morning, but I meant to harvest this too. It's been very rainy here, and so you really couldn't tell what was open and what was just being weighed down by the rain. So I'm just pulling these, but a lot of these were ready to go, so it's cool. The more you harvest them, the more they grow. So I want to make sure I harvest them, but this is growing in a green stalk, and it's chamomile, y'all. We also have calendula in here, and so the calendula, I did remember to harvest that this morning when I harvest everything else. Look how nice that is. Now, I will tell you, calendula is not perennial, so that's not going to stay here and come back next year, although it is very cold hardy, so it is possible that it could. I won't be doing this again. It was an extra plant. The calendula and the chamomile was extra plant. I don't really particularly want that in there, but I'm not going to take it because it is providing quite a few calendula flowers for me, and I do use that for skincare. Over here to this one, you have some chives in here. This is where the parsley was. I'm pretty sure this whole layer was parsley, so we'll just let that stuff die back and we will replace it. We have thyme on this level. Down here we have some sage, but I harvested that this morning. You have some parsley, harvested that. This basil, this is basil, and it's supposed to be purple. I don't know what's going on with this basil over here, but we don't want it to die, so we'll harvest it. We also have some cilantro that's about to go to seed, so I'm just leaving it because I'll keep the seed, because you can definitely use it as coriander, or I could just replant it. This is also lovage. You can use this in place of celery, so I'm letting that continue to grow. This pansy look absolutely terrible, y'all. It looks absolutely terrible. I went and took that chamomile in the house. So right beside that lemon 7-tier, you have weeds growing for one, but you have another strawberry green stalk I'm about to show y'all. This is all strawberry. This is in a snow 5-tier. Some of them died. I purchased them from a store, and then I think I overwatered them, but it's okay. We will get runners that will replace anything in here that has died. These are called June bearing. Some of them are called June bearing, and they grow really nicely. They are 1st-year plants, but these are actually called Chandler. They grow really nice sized strawberries. They have been producing really well. They are a June bearing variety. Pretty sure I looked that up, but anyway, they're June bearing variety. I'm pretty excited to have them. Like I said, we have a bunch of empty pockets in here because I was overwatering something terrible, y'all, but it's okay. We'll get our runners. Look at that. We got us some flowers. We'll get our runners and we will replace all of that stuff. Now, this is more than likely from the straw, but if you can see how easy I'm pulling it out, people always ask, like, does your straw give you grass blades? It does, but they come out super easy. So it does have seeds in it. Mine is from Tractor Supply. It's called Straw Boss. It is in the horse aisle. So it's for horses, but I have not had an issue. I use it in the main garden to mulch, and I use it in the Greenstalks to mulch. Well, I use it all over the garden to mulch. So across the way from the ones I just showed you, you have this evergreen. Evergreen, you really can't see it because the plants are doing so well in here. It's this green color, and I have it in basket weave. This is probably my favorite green stalk right now. To date, this is probably my favorite green stalk. It looks amazing. The plants are thriving in here. We have these orange hat tomatoes, and so these are very compact plants, miniature plants. These are miniature marigolds in here. And look, we have tomatoes on these plants already, looking amazing. The marigolds are doing amazing. Of course, you see these nasturtiums. I mean, the nasturtiums are giving, y'all. I'm gonna step back so y'all can see it after we finish talking about it. The other thing that's in here is some basil. The basil is actually doing the best over here. I do need to come and get some of these leaves off because you can see they're about to flower. But you have some more marigolds. This one isn't doing great, but you have marigolds going all the way down. You have more orange hat tomatoes, and you can see right there, you got tomatoes growing everywhere. Like, they're doing amazingly. Amazingly. They go all the way down. That's the way I decided to plant them this year. And then you have bean plants. We don't have any beans yet. I have 3 beans per pocket. That is what Greenstalk recommends. And so that's what I do. Only 2 came up. And I direct sowed these, I do believe. The beans, I don't do a lot of direct sowing, but beans I found do just fine being direct sown in the Greenstalks. So let me step back. Look at that Greenstalk, y'all. It is actually my favorite to date right now. And another question I get asked is like, what did you use to start the Greenstalk? What's the soil that's in your Greenstalk? The soil that's in my Greenstalk is a mix because I started with the soil called Burger BM6. I plan to continue with the soil called Burger BM6, but then I was able to find some Fox Farm Happy Frog at a decent price near me. And so I did some of them with that as well. So I filled some of them with that because I wanted to know, like, is there going to be any difference? And then I always put some type of fertilizer in it, some type of amendment. So some of these have rabbit manure in them. Some of them have compost, black cow, mixed in with the main soil. Some of them have meal grinds in them. I'll put a link to the meal so that you know what I'm talking about. They all have a granulated fertilizer in them. So I was very new and I was just trying things, but the way I see it, as long as you put light loamy soil in here, good quality soil, and something to feed the plants, because these are containers. Essentially, they are just like growing in a bag. They're just like growing in a pot. You have to provide them with their nutrients. So as long as you give them some type of nutrients, whether that's granulated fertilizer, compost, rabbit manure, meal grinds, earthworm castings, just make sure you provide that. I have found that it does not have to be one thing. They're still all growing well and they're all made different, with the exception of there's only 2 types of soil. I only use the Fox Farm or the Burger BM6. So that's my answer to that. I wish I could give you a more definitive answer, but the truth is I didn't start them all the same. And so right here you have the pink blossom. I don't know if this is something that's still available or if it got discontinued. I cannot remember. Evergreen is always around, just so you know. Anyway, in here, we need to replant some stuff. So we had lettuce in here. I cut the lettuce last week. Anything that was left, I'm probably gonna have to cut this out. Like, that is a really big root system. But until I get around to planting it, I'm not gonna worry about it. Maybe it will decompose on its own. But at this point, we have zucchini in here. And you can see we have female flowers right here. The male flowers were open this morning. And so we have zucchini in here, but we also have beans growing in here. And I love these trellises for the beans. They work really well to hold them up. Also, having 3 beans in here does the same thing. Pretty sure that's not a friend, but I'll come out here and figure that out. And so all the way around, that's what you have. Zucchini at the bottom. Oh, we also put a teddy bear sunflower in here. This is a cucumber, a miniature one, Space Master 80. So that'll be growing in here too. You have more beans down here and more zucchini. So if you are thinking you cannot grow zucchini in a Greenstalk, you absolutely can. I did it last year. And I'm finding that this trellis works well for zucchini too. Down here, you can see this is the first one that I saw, the first zucchini I saw, but we didn't have any male flowers, so it didn't get pollinated, and that's fine. It's still very early in the season, but I'll step back and let you see that one as well. So this one, I have some work I need to do to this, but I also don't have the plants yet. So I'm trying to decide, am I just gonna go to the store and get the plants, or am I going to attempt to start some plants? I don't know. What I do know is I feel like I have already put enough beans in places. Last year, because I was very new to it, I was just popping beans in all of the extra spots. I don't know that I want to do that this year. I do love beans, but I have beans all out in the main garden. I have a bunch of them in the Greenstalks. And so I want to make sure I'm using my space wisely. So right beside that pink blossom, you have a blackberry. This is a leek and potato soup Greenstalk in case you are new here. So I put basically leeks at the top, leeks that are being devoured. I mean, just torn up and made to look very crazy by the allium leaf miner. If you're not new here, you know I've been fighting them. We had to pull our onions. We did not get our onion harvest at all this year. The garlic harvest was nice, but could have probably been better. But also my best onion harvest ever. So I'm not complaining. What I am saying is all of that happened because we have allium leaf miner. We also have them in these leeks. And honestly, I just haven't pulled them because I like the way this looks. When I pull the potatoes, I will pull the leeks. I'm not gonna give them a chance to keep going because they're literally being devoured. If you look at these, they look actually horrible, y'all. They look really bad. Look at that. Like, yeah, they don't look good. And if I were to pull them right now, we would absolutely find allium leaf miner. But anyway, you have potatoes down at the bottom. So that's exciting. And those will be coming out sometime in June. So if you are wondering, can I grow potatoes in a Greenstalk? You absolutely can. And I grew them last year in a lemon Greenstalk and they did okay, but they were also a little bit shaded. With that being the case, this year I think they're in a good space. The plants still look decent, although we want them to start dying out soon because we want to be able to harvest them. What we want it to happen when it's ready. Down here at the bottom, you have some celery, but it was shaded. It got shaded when those potatoes started growing. I probably could harvest that now too, but I'm just leaving it. But yeah, there's celery all the way around the bottom of this Greenstalk too. And I think this celery is actually about to bolt. So I need to come out here and probably get that celery. Anyway, my point, you can grow a lot of stuff in these Greenstalks. And I'm just going through and showing you very detailed today, which I don't think I've ever really done before. Right beside that blackberry I just showed you, you have a strawberry that has strawberries in it. And somehow I did not overwater this one, but I will tell you what I think. This gets sun for a longer period of time in the day than that one. So when I overwater this, that's gonna definitely be a problem because it gets shaded earlier in the day. And so that's why I don't think we lost any of the strawberries over here because it's in the sun and it gets dried out quicker. The other thing that's in this Greenstalk, we have some Swiss chard down here and I've been harvesting that a lot. And then look at this, y'all. Our snapdragons finally started to flower in here. I'm not gonna tell no untruths. I would like a full Greenstalk of snapdragons, y'all. It's actually really pretty. Like, listen, y'all know I'm always trying to find a new spot. I missed that one. Ew, gross. Anyway, I'm always trying to find a spot for a new Greenstalk, and I would love a Greenstalk full of snapdragons. And in my area, snapdragons can be perennial if the weather is not too bad. Nothing really seemed to make it except for my herbs this last winter that we had. My herbs and my echinacea and my strawberries. A lot of my strawberries made it too. But anyway, it can be perennial in my area because they're really good in the cold. The plants really last in the cold. In the summer, they slow down, they look bad, but as soon as it cools down again, they'll start growing. So y'all, I'm thinking about a snapdragon Greenstalk because it is so pretty. Like, look at that. Y'all tell me that ain't pretty. And wait until it really starts to flower and have more stems. And you would think that we would have ended up with like just one stem. There's a bunch of stems on that plant because there is enough space to grow the things you want in here. I've literally had people leave me comments and say like, it does not work. It absolutely does work. I've had people leave me comments and say that you have to water every day. Maybe in the summer, like when it's super hot and you have 100-degree days, 90-degree days every day, maybe. I've never had to do that either. I water very deeply. I know there are people who don't like to water every pocket. It is time consuming. I don't disagree. It is time consuming. So if you don't want to do that, it is possible that you will have to water every day. I will go through, water every pocket pretty deeply, and then water from the top. And that's what I call deep watering in my Greenstalks. Now, like I said, with that strawberry one over there, that came back to bite me because I basically overwatered. But you got to pay attention to your shade and your temperatures and stuff too. I'm just telling you, like, that has worked for me. When we had those really hot days recently, that's what I did. I didn't lose anything. Not from the heat, but from overwatering, I most definitely did. All right, we have another lemon, and this one had garlic in it, and I want to say onions were mixed in too. So it's not fully grown because the things that's in here I kind of had to plant after we started pulling stuff out. With that being the case, you do have some marigolds in here, Swiss chard, and like I said, we're harvesting the Swiss chard heavily all the time. Same thing with the garlic, and we've basically been eating Swiss chard and I said garlic. That's collard, y'all. Anyway, we've been eating them together, just mixing them together, been delicious. We also have some garlic over here. I just haven't pulled it. I don't know why. I probably should. It's probably being eaten by allium leaf miner as we speak. But we also have more garlic over here, and you can see we got a garlic scape. I'm gonna let it curl a little bit more. Garlic scape can be used just like garlic. You just cut it up and use it. It has a very nice garlicky taste to it. I put mine in some ramen the other day. It was delicious. You also have a dwarf sunflower. Pretty sure it's a teddy bear that's in here. There are empty pockets. This one has some work that needs to be done as well. I'm pretty sure I went through and put bean seeds in all these empty pockets, but they did not come up yet. So we're gonna give it some time, see if they come up. If they don't, then we have some work that we need to do here. It's drizzling, but I think we're fine. It's just drizzling, it's not raining. We're gonna keep moving, y'all. Beside the lemon one we just talked about, we have another blackberry. This was full of onions, and we pulled those because of allium leaf miner. We put beans in here. These are black beans. Now, we just remembered that we needed to do the yellow beans, so I literally just did this 2 days ago, which is why we don't see any yellow beans in here. But we do have a patio choice yellow tomato. Look at those tomatoes, y'all. We love it. And if you remember, we had the tomato that broke and I just stuck it down in here. So this was the bottom that still had the root, and I stuck it back down in here. Look at that tomato. It's growing. We're gonna have us another tomato. But the rest of this is black beans. This will basically be beans all year long because I'm gonna let the beans dry on the plant. Right beside it is the beautiful raspberry. This was the one that really made me want a Greenstalk, but I did not pull the trigger. And when I did pull the trigger, the only one that resembled purple was lilac, and that's the one I decided to buy. Anyway, this one is full of flowers, and these are very pretty. I want to call them lemon something. I cannot remember. They're lemon something, but they're actually really pretty, y'all. We should have had a dwarf sunflower in here. I need to get my dwarf sunflower started because I thought there was one in here. Look at these pretty marigolds. Strawberry blonde. They're actually really pretty. And then these, girl, why would you put that down at the bottom? They're called Lemon Delight. And so the one that I said something about lemon, that's probably not lemon, and I don't know what the name is. Actually, it is. I think it's called Lemon Drop, this one. Anyway, these are Lemon Delights, very pretty. You got some more of the marigolds, and then these, oh, actually really, really beautiful. They are gazania, whatever, that's what they are. And they bloom from the same plant, but with different colors. So this is all flowers. I never really wanted a Greenstalk just for flowers, but I was watching Helen, and y'all, look at that. There go another one. We got some pests out here, y'all. Anyway, and she has some that has lots of flowers in it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do one all with flowers. So I appreciate her inspiration on that. These ain't doing great in here. I don't know what they are. I can't remember the name, but They not doing great, but it's okay. We're gonna leave them until they actually start to die. Like if it actually dies, I'll pull it out. This is that plant though. This one started to grow on its own separate from the original plant. So I don't know, y'all. And then see the other one down here look terrible. And the one down there look terrible. But I'm leaving it because I have faith because of this one. Anyway, that's a raspberry full of flowers and actually really beautiful. And these, I just can't wait for the whole little space down here because they go all the way down to have these flowers because they're actually so beautiful. They remind me of some kind of daisy. They're probably in a daisy family. I don't know. Eucalyptus from last year that I have done nothing to in a Vego garden self-watering planter that I'm doing absolutely nothing to, y'all. It also is going to grow into a tree. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do, but that thing is beautiful. I mean, it's actually beautiful. I also want to start cutting it. So I'm thinking I probably could cut like right here because we got side ones coming out. But yeah, I want to start cutting it because I want to use it in my shower. Right here, you have a black Greenstalk. This is discontinued. You cannot get a black. I should have gotten more. It's okay. But it's all beans. It's all black beans and something died here. So I put a black bean seed in there. But this one is full of black beans. I thought it would be cool to have a black Greenstalk with black beans. Beans grow really well in here. I did not get any more trellises. Completely forgot to do that when the Mother's Day sale was going on, but hopefully they'll put them on sale again soon and I will get some more. Anywho, that's pretty self-explanatory. So something you have not seen in the garden yet is the 3-tier Greenstalks. So this is a raspberry 3-tier, mostly with beans, but also has some pepper plants in here and then some tomato. Pretty sure these are patio tomatoes, not patio choice yellow, just patio. And so these get pretty stalky. So I'm hopeful that we don't have too much of a problem. If we do, with them standing up is what I mean. If we do, we'll just stake them with some bamboo stakes. But see, we have more beans in here. Oh, look, this is a candy cane pepper, and so it's growing peppers. Again, this is something somebody would tell me to take off, but I don't follow those rules. I'm going to let this plant do what it does. And somebody said over on Instagram it means the plant is stressed. I don't know about that. That plant looks fine to me. But patio choice tomatoes, some more of those up here. So I do come through and I do some self-pollinating. But this Greenstalk looks amazing. This one over here is pretty much the same thing. And we also have some patio tomatoes showing up. They are a red tomato. They give you a nice sized tomato, probably like that big. They're all in the other greenhouse, the quick tick greenhouse too. So you'll see it. I grew them last year, mostly in the greenhouse, but I also grew like 2 in the Greenstalk. I purchased those plants last year from a nursery near me. And then I saved the seeds because they did so well in the greenhouse. So all of the patio tomatoes you see in here are, I purchased 4 plants, I think, maybe 4 or 5 plants from a nursery. And then I saved the seeds and now I got all of these plants from saving those seeds. So that's really cool. We do have a flower in here. That's that lemon drop I think I told you about. You got another pepper plant in here. That's a shishito. So yeah, this is pretty much beans, peppers, tomatoes. Oh, look at that. There we have a candy cane pepper right there. This is our one Morosky that made it. So that's growing a pepper. You have some amaranth in here. That's not doing great, but we're gonna leave it and see what happens. But yeah, look at that. That is our other raspberry Greenstalk. And so y'all, that is the Greenstalk tour. It was pretty long, I know, but I wanted to provide some actual detail today. Detail of how I have it planted, detail on how I take care of it, stuff like that, because people are asking, and because I don't do teachy videos, I figured I would throw it into this tour to just help a little bit, because like a few people have said, like, you do really good growing in them. And I feel like I do the same thing in these Greenstalks that I do in my garden. So I don't pull the Greenstalks apart every time to fertilize them. I did not do that this year. I did not take down any of them unless I was moving them. It's a lot of work. My body is hurting. I don't want to do that. I did not do that. Let's see. I feel like I do the same thing. I mulch them. And Mustard Seed Homestead is where I found that from. I also do a lot of watching YouTube videos. videos. So I do what I do on my homestead for them, but I also glean from other people. So for sure, watch some other YouTube videos. Mustard Seed Homesteading is a really good one. She has a lot of Greenstalks. Becoming a Farm Girl, Cassandra at Becoming a Farm Girl. Glory's Garden, I'll link her too. She has a whole bunch of Greenstalks. So if you really want to learn, because there are people who are teaching. Mustard Seed Homestead, she is teaching you how to grow them. I am talking about how I grow in them. So yeah, oh, that's not our last Greenstalk. But what I would say is go and find other people who are gardening in Greenstalks if you're finding that you're having issues with them, because people will say that they don't work, but it is clear all across YouTube that it does. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, that they do work. Just letting y'all know. This is the other Greenstalk. This was, I'm not really sure the name. However, it is gone, discontinued, will not be coming back. This one also had a bunch of garlic in it. I think it maybe had shallots in it. They didn't do well. So we just recently had to replant this. We have beans in it. I do think that I had left some garlic hoping for the best. So there are things that we need to replant in here. But we also have an orange head tomato in here. We have some marigolds in here, bunch of beans. I don't know what these are, but baby, they look like they vining. That's a problem. But anyway, I don't know what I put in here. They definitely vining though. That's a mess. We're gonna have to figure that out. Oh, also there is some Swiss chard in here as well. Harvesting very heavy. The Swiss chard in general does not stand a chance. Like, it's not gonna grow too much. I'm just harvesting it because we are coming up on the warm temperatures. The only time I have noticed my Swiss chard flower is in the second year. So like if I planted it in fall, so not really second year, but when it has gone through some cold and now it's gonna get hot again, when I plant them in fall, I have found that they do flower. If I plant them in spring, they haven't. So we're gonna see if that's something that I actually learned or something that I think I remember. Anyway. For my area, for my backyard, and I don't even want to say area, I want to say for my backyard, because everybody's backyard is different. So y'all, we finally got the shade cloth up. Me and my son did it. Yes, I need to come and cut this. I didn't. I don't even know that I'm going to, because when I need to take the shade cloth off, it would be much easier for me to just pull that. I don't know. Anyway, in case you got it, we went and got some, what are they called? Oh no, I can't think of the name. I'm gonna have to put it on the screen, y'all. I'm sorry. But we got these little metal ring thingies, eyelets, not eyelets, eye screws, something like that. I like E-Y-E screws. I just drilled through this and screwed this in. And so these strings are going up to these attachments, got them from Bootstrap Farmer. This whole greenhouse is from Bootstrap Farmer, in case you're new here. And we went all the way down, and that's how we attached it. Very simple, very easy to do once you realize what they did. I had to watch a YouTube video that they had up, but it worked really well. This is 50% shade cloth. I think it said 10 to 15 degrees. It should help to lower it 10 to 15 degrees. Also, I still need to go around the top, well, just like at the top, not all the way, and put some more of the spring wire. Haven't gotten around to it. I'm not cutting this. I'm leaving it just like this because it's gonna be easier for me from year to year to put this back up. So I'm not cutting it, but you could if you wanted to. Y'all know how I do. I'm gonna do what I want to. And even if it doesn't look the best, I'm gonna do what I want to in order to make it easier for me in the future. And so with that being the case, we're not cutting that. And the door still closes. And in the back, you have a whole bunch left. But this is the same way with the plastic. Because of where I am, I didn't cut the plastic either. And I'm most definitely not gonna cut this shade cloth. So every year we'll have this extra stuff hanging, but it does not have to be beautiful or aesthetically pleasing to be functional. Remember that. Anyway, we in the Bootstrap Farmer greenhouse, y'all. So we got an eggplant here. It was an extra from when I purchased some from the store. We did go ahead and plant out our watermelon. And so these didn't make it. I don't know what is going on with these. It's okay. I might have overwatered when I planted them out because they were pretty small. But these did. And so what I do think I'm going to do, we also have a snapdragon that volunteered right here. What I do think I'm going to do is put some Hortanova trellising up in here. I have some extra T-posts from where I took down other trellises, from where we took down the compost pile. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and put some Hoarding Over trellis in here, because while I thought I wanted this stuff to just be everywhere, when it gets hot this summer, when everything else is wild and going everywhere, I do not want to have to be walking over watermelon vines. And I think if I do have to do that, I'm gonna get mad and I'm gonna pull them out. So yeah, I'm gonna put some trellising up in here. I'm really liking that Hoarding Over trellis for the tomatoes. I think I'm gonna like it for the watermelon too. So we're gonna see. Down here we have our Swiss chard, also being heavily harvested in here, but it's still growing. It is not bitter. It's been really good. I've been enjoying it. So we're just gonna let it continue to grow. This was supposed to be more tomatoes, which is why I have some tomatoes left in the greenhouse, which I'm probably not gonna end up using. They're actually growing tomatoes. But anyway, that's what was supposed to be here. And I probably could put them in between these Swiss chard. I might try that. And it will shade the Swiss chard. Just thought about that. I might plant them. They are well overgrown and already growing tomatoes on them, but I might try. What can it hurt? What can it hurt, y'all? Anyway, we have our tomatoes in here looking amazing. I have still been, pruning them. And even with pruning, look how close and bushy they are. Now, they are pruned to 2 liters, so that's some of the issue and why they're so close in between. If I start to notice any issues, then maybe I'll take the 2nd liter off. But right now, everything's being grown on 2 liters. And everything, there is a sea of flowers in here. Do y'all see them? But we also actually have tomatoes growing in here too. I just need to find them. So right here, it's a sweet 100, super sweet 100. See that? We got tomatoes growing already there. Some right there. And y'all remember I said I wanted to grow that long truss of tomatoes. I might get it. And like I said, I am coming in here and I am hand pollinating these, because bees and different things do get in here. We get a little bit of wind, but I just think that it can't hurt for me to help a little bit as well. We also have some tomatoes down here. See right here, this is the Rosella. We got tomatoes growing in there already. And back here, you can see these are a little bit shorter. Well, a lot a bit shorter. That's because I think we don't get the same amount of sun back here, which is fine, because this is my Cherokee purple. And look at all those flowers. So I'm okay with it as long as I get production. This is a Brad's Atomic Grape. Already got 2 of those on there. So yeah, it's looking good in here, y'all. I'm very excited. I am very new to growing in greenhouses. This is going greatly. All right, down here we have peppers. I did come through where I could and put the tomato cages. These were just too big. I couldn't get the tomato cages around it. I was not willing to lose the actual plant for it. And look at that. That's a candy cane pepper, and that's growing. You got one on this plant over here too, right here, if you can see it. That's another pepper growing on here. So all the way across the back of here are candy cane. I want to say back here, those are also candy cane, right? You got one jalapeno right there, and then the rest of these are also shishito peppers. And we definitely have shishito peppers. These were peppers that I started very early. If you're not new here, they're already producing really nicely for us. And I have eaten a few shishito peppers. So I'm excited about that, y'all. So that is the Bootstrap Farmer greenhouse right now on May the 25th, I believe I said. And we need to go ahead and get some trellising up right here. I am so glad I did not watch the weather and just continue to not come outside and do what I wanted to do, because it's supposed to be raining right now. 100% chance is what the weatherman said. Over here is something that I always forget because it's kind of in the cut, but the things in this bed don't need no help from me. Mostly lavender. Now, did I miss some of this lavender? Yes. Did I harvest some of this lavender this morning? Also yes, because I remembered it. So this is lavender. Lavender don't need a lot from you. Lavender don't need a lot of water, a lot of care, a lot of fertilizer, nothing like that. This is a self-watering pot from Vego too. There'll be a link down in the description. The pansies over here are still living, which is pretty cool, but I think it's because we shade out over here very early, and the cosmos have self-sowed themselves, which is okay. This is a lettuce that's about to go to seed. No, I did not plant it. What I did was I used this as a catch-all when I was like dumping out the soil from seeds that did not sprout, and that's why we have some lettuce in here, which is okay. I actually really like that bed. My son said, like, what are you doing with this one? I said, surprisingly nothing, and those plants are doing great. And so on to our last greenhouse, which is our quick tent greenhouse, 12 by 7 by 7. I've had it for years. It's one of those greenhouses that get a bad rap. I have it reinforced, have it beside a fence, and I have had no problems out of it since I did those things. But anyway, we have some zucchini and squash in here. You can see it's flowering. Last year, I did this early over in the greenhouse, and this is where I got most of my harvest from. This year, I have zucchini all over the garden early, hoping I can get a harvest before the squash vine borer moves in. In here, we also have a roselle plant. Once we get this squash out of here, that roselle will have this whole bed because roselle get really big. Roselle or sorrel. And behind that, you have nasturtiums that are growing really well too. That is a weed. I need to pull it. And it's a vining nasturtium. You see it trying to grow up the trellis, so that's cool. There's another one back here, not doing great. In the bed right beside it, you have more zucchini or squash. Oh, these are Costata romanesca squash. And they seem to be vining varieties too. That's unfortunate, but they're already in here now. We have some patio tomatoes. I did come through, put the cages on them. They are doing well over here. So one of the things that I'm not sure about is how much sun each of these beds get. They are under a tree, and so our sun comes from over here. They shade out pretty early. However, those tomatoes are growing just fine back there. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. There's also nasturtiums in this bed with this Costata romanesca squash. Bed back here that we planted out a little bit later, we're just gonna see what happens, y'all. They look terrible. They look stunted, number one, and like they're not growing, but they are growing. So we'll see what happens. All right, so you got more patio tomatoes in here with some marigolds and some basil in the middle. Came through and put some of the cages on them too. They weren't too big, so we love that for me. And then we have some more marigolds in here. So this bed is also already producing tomatoes. So we love that for us. The plant back there is also producing tomatoes already. So that greenhouse looks amazing too. And that is what we are looking like today, May the 25th. And so that is this side of the yard, the Greenstalks, the greenhouses, all the things that give my yard a little more character, and I absolutely love it. I was telling you all before, like, I would have never been able to have as many flowers planted where they are if I didn't have these Greenstalks. I'm happy for this side of my yard, just like I'm happy for the other side. They both have their place in my backyard, and I love them both. Anywho, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram, where I post about the things going on in my garden almost every day. Bye, y'all.